I forgot to film an intro to this video, so hello, my name is Micah and I am a WGU student studying management and leadership, and in this video, will complete Class C 208, which is change management. It requires a test, which is known as an OA, and then a PA, which is more like a paper or a project, which this kind of includes both. And yeah, so come along with me as I complete this course. So last night I already went through the Facebook groups. That seems to be the best source of knowledge for this program. There's a Facebook group specifically for this program, and people post a lot in there about the specific classes. So I just go up to the top and search for my specific course number, or I'll search the course name. I usually do both, and then just kind of read what people are saying, figure out what the general consensus is around the class, and then make my study plan from there. So I've already done that. There's not a lot of materials for this course aside from the textbook. So we're gonna have to read the textbook. That's okay, we can do that. By we, I mean me. I don't know why I keep talking in the plural, or speaking in the plural, but I'm going to take the pre-exam now. There is an exam for this course and a paper for this course, which is one of the reasons why I wanted to film this, so that you can see how I do both of those things. So I'm about to get started taking the pre-assessment, and we'll see how that goes. Based upon the pre-assessment, I will decide where to put my efforts as far as studying for the course goes. But I would like to knock out the exam first and then the paper. People are different, but for me, that really works for me because it's gonna take me longer to pass the exam than usually it will for the paper, meaning more effort. Usually I just write to the rubric for the paper, so that one's not that challenging. I just have to make sure that I know the knowledge and can write to the rubric. So taking the exam in the first place allows me to make sure that I understand the knowledge, and then I can do that, which I think this is both a paper and a PowerPoint presentation due for this one. So yeah, so let's take the exam. Okay, so I took my test and I passed. This is my first time. I haven't even looked at the material or anything yet, so I think that that's pretty good, and I passed by an okay amount. It wasn't like I was just right on the line. There was nothing that I got exemplary in, though. I was on the line of exemplary for one of the objectives, so I'm going to make the choice to just kind of skim that chapter, because clearly I know a lot about it, so we're just gonna skim that one. And then I'm going to avoid the lowest two percentage-wise objectives, because I passed them by an okay amount, and they're not worth that much. So one's worth 2% and the other one's worth 12%. I can pass without those two, or I can pass by just getting a few of those correct. So that's what I intend to do. I was a little disappointed by one of the objectives that's worth 30%, because while I passed it, I didn't pass it by much. So I have marked that one with a little red arrow. So I plan to really dig into that one, and then just skim the ones that are 21%, 19%, and 16%. And so I should be able to take this test pretty soon. I could probably take it today. I'm not sure. I have work. I took the test during my lunch break, so we'll see how far I get and what I can get done tonight. Hello, it's a completely different day. I didn't study anymore last night, and then I was really busy today, so now it's Friday evening and I'm studying. This is my first time looking at the material, so what I'm going to do is I've already gone to the chapter that I need the most work on. I assessed that by how much of a percentage it's worth for the exam, and then how well I did on it. So I passed, didn't get exemplary, but it's worth 30% of the exam. Therefore, I really need to study this chapter. So I wrote down all of the objectives, and now I'm going to go through the textbook and see if I can find the answers to all of these objectives for this specific chapter that correlates with what 30% of the test is. So, and then I'm probably going to take the pre-test again because I really think that I can pass it. I think I could probably pass it tonight based on how well I did on the pre-test. But I think that if I study this chapter that makes up 30% of it, it will give me an even better chance of passing. So that's what we're going to do. So come study with me. Good morning. It's the next day, and last night I studied module 3 and then I took the pre-test, but I found 2 other modules that I think would like solidify me passing. So I'm going to go through those today. So today is Saturday. So I'm going to go through those. I went to the gym this morning, relaxed, had coffee. Now I'm going to shower before I get started studying for the day. But yeah, I think I'm going to take my exam today. It's like almost 8:30. So, my goal is to take it around 12. So I am clean, fed, and caffeinated. So now I'm gonna get to work on module 2 and module 6. I'm hoping to finish them in about an hour and a half, and then take the pre-test again, make sure that I do really well in every section. And then it doesn't have to be exemplary, it can kind of be on the line. But I wanna make sure that I'm like really close to exemplary, especially in the ones that have like a higher percentage of the test. And then if that goes well, I'll schedule it for this afternoon at 12. So that's what's going on. I can't keep calling you my dear, oh, 'cause I'm feeling so great. Okay, so it's the next day and I am in the middle of making coffee because I scheduled my test for less than an hour for now, and one of my I don't know, toxic traits is that I really like to be so energized whenever I'm taking my test that I literally cannot sit still. Like, the worst thing I can imagine in my mind is like hitting a slump while I'm trying to take my test. Like, it's already like annoying enough to take an exam and not know how you're gonna do it. I mean, we have hopes, right? We study a lot and we have hopes that we will do well, but you don't know what's really gonna be on that test. Like, you don't know what real questions are gonna be there. So yeah, I just like to be caffeinated out of my mind. Also, to address the last clip that is probably going to be in this order. I did not take my exam yesterday because I get test anxiety. Like, I just freak out about stuff sometimes, and it's not that big of a deal. Like, if I were to fail, like, I would get some sort of like plan from the instructors, and then I would fulfill that plan, and then I would get to take it again, right? Like, not that big of a deal, but in my mind, I'm like, oh my gosh, this is going to set me back so far. And like, I just started to panic about it. And so I'm like, I have to know that I know that I know that I'm going to pass. So anyway, that's what happened. So instead, I did the practical assessment after finishing the modules yesterday. So I actually already got the results back from that, and I passed it, like, no problem. No revisions or anything like that. So yeah, that's what I did last night, and yeah, it went well. And then as far as this test goes, I'm going to drink my coffee and review my notes from probably module 2. Module 2 and 3 make up about 30% of the test. And so I want to make sure that I know that stuff really well. But it's like difficult because the way that this test is like set up, the way that the modules are set up, like the competencies are really spread throughout the modules. So it's not as simple as like, go to module 2 and this is going to be this competency, and go to module 4 and this is going to be this competency. Instead, it's like little bits and pieces spread throughout the modules. Buddy, do you have to like eat right next to me while I'm like filming a video? Apparently so. My dog's eating down there, so if you're hearing like the sound of a glass bowl, it's because he's eating out of his bowl. But yeah, so this one is a little bit difficult, and the information that I found online wasn't really helpful. A lot of people are just like, oh, the test is easy, and it probably is, honestly. But I just like to know that I know that I know that I'm going to pass. Whenever I took the test, pre-test initially, I didn't do well. I did okay, like I passed, but I didn't do as well as I would like to do on something that makes up 30% of the exam. So that's why I've like delayed it for so long, and why I have anxiety and stuff. But I've, tried to like calm myself down, and I know it might not make sense to drink coffee if I'm trying to avoid anxiety, but listen, there has to be some balance. So I've already done all of my mindfulness kind of stuff. And now I'm going to drink coffee so that my legs can be shaking throughout the entire test, because that's how I prefer to roll.
The only ones in this situation, just when I think of you, my fingers started shaking.
Okay, so I'm literally about to start my exam. I grabbed my license. I finished my coffee, I put my notes away, and I grabbed my water. I think you saw in the last clip that I plugged in my webcam. I'm not using a whiteboard or a calculator for this, but you're welcome to have those things. I don't think I'll need them for this course, so I'm not going to mess with them. It's just one more thing that I have to like show on the webcam, and I don't want to do that. Hello, it's hours later now because I forgot to make a video after I passed the test. So I had my results within like a couple minutes after the test. They weren't there initially. I had to refresh the page, and then they were there. That's pretty common. But yeah, I passed by a significant margin, so I'm happy. I am debating if I want to start strategic management tonight or tomorrow. I don't have much going on tonight, but I don't know. We'll see what happens.